Good afternoon. We are back down the little pit, and I've not been here since last Wednesday, so that trip was a bit of a flop, to be honest. As I said, I weren't really that up for it, and it just didn't feel on. I had a bream, I had a little occurrence sort of going into the evening, which I think chances are I probably got done by another bream, and not a lot happened really. So I haven't been down, I haven't put any more bait in since that trip. It was the Easter weekend, so I can only assume a few people were over here. I do know of some fish getting caught over the last few days, again down that other end, all small fish, which just makes me think potentially some males are starting to head down that end. As I said, they do spawn down there, and there's a big transition where they start to sit down there. But just turned up, there's no one here. The lake does look really good, spots are really clear, the wind's obviously been blowing the other way and all that surface debris is gone. It's a bit of fizzing out there, not sure, could be bait out there, who knows. So I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm going to give that area another try. The only thing I am going to do, I'm going to move the right hand rod, because I've only actually had one take from that right hand zone. Looks great, but just doesn't seem to be producing. Been fish moving over it all the time, but I don't think the spot's that clear. Although it's one of those spots it looks like it should be. I'm getting good drops out there, but I'm bringing in a lot of debris on the retrieve, so I'm actually going to bring that down to my left along the weed bed where I've been getting the bites, and I've been chucking bait all along that weed bed, and there's some fizzing in close off there, so that's where the right hand rod's going to go. And yeah, going to give that a try for the night. But yeah, it feels great. We had a lot of rain last night and this morning. Everything looks really green and lush. It's got that real nice sort of spring smell in the air. So yeah, looking forward to getting them out, kicking back, hopefully pinch a couple. So yeah, let's get this gear out of the van. Well, we've got one, but unfortunately it's a repeat. It's that same old scarred up mirror I actually had on my first night back. So yeah, a bit of a shame. Lovely old carp, but I knew I was going to get a quick bite. There was a lot of activity out there, so just not the one we wanted. So he absolutely thrashed the swim, so I'm hoping I'll get another chance. But yeah, get him back, sent on his way. Well, we've got another one, 15-pound common, and this thing went absolutely mental. If it's the fish I think it is super old, long lean thing, and if it is the one I think it is, it fought like hell the last time I caught it. Same rod, let's get him back, get the rod back out there. We managed the third one. I thought I'd keep this one to show you. It is a really cool one. So 3 fish, most productive trip so far this spring, which considering the last trip was pretty slow, yeah, I'm happy to have got amongst a few. I would have said all 3 fish are males, all long lean fish, and all of them fought really hard. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully those females aren't too far away, but this one is a real cool one. It's pretty much a miniature version of the one I'm after. I had to double check in the net and realised he was too small. But a really cool old carp, covered in scales, scars, the fins are all over the show. Yeah, really cool one. And this was actually on the right hand rod, the rod I said I was going to move. Just as I was getting that rod ready to put it out, big sheet of bubbles come up on that spot. I thought I've got to put it back on there, and this one went early hours of this morning. So yeah, well happy to have got amongst a few. yeah, it definitely feels like it's changing over here. And fingers crossed, I'm not too far away from the one I'm after. Getting back, get off to work. Result. Cool carp. We are back down the lake. It's Friday and I managed to get out of work a little bit earlier than I thought I would. So rushed down, got back out into the swim. Looks really good. Nice wind trickling down here. Not seen a lot. Left hand rod has absolutely burst into life. And we've got one, but unfortunately it's another repeat. It's that same dark common that I caught in that quick brace. So I'm going to get him unhooked and get him back. But result, I've changed over to a wafter now, basically because I've run out of pink pop-ups, but the majority of the bites I've been getting have been on pink, and I didn't have any other pink hook baits, so changed over to a pink krill wafter and away it's gone. So confidence boost. Yeah, get him sorted, get the rod back out there. A shame to get another repeat, but hopefully it's another bite closer. Here is this morning's prize. I'm really chuffed with this one. I was a bit disappointed to have got another repeat last night. As I've mentioned in the past sort of clips, I don't think there's a great deal of fish left in here now. You know, there's obviously a good few, but you know, the numbers have dwindled over the years, and unfortunately you're always going to get fish that feed more than others, and you know, they're going to be the friendlier ones. But quiet night, didn't really see a lot, and yeah, woke up this morning to a single bleep, which is a bit odd. I'm fishing locked up, and anyway, a few seconds later, a little flurry of bleeps. I've run out to the rod and I'm looking just in the sort of first light, and I just noticed the line was going to the right instead of to the left. And yeah, this one completely different to all the other fish. Ran out right, really held sort of in the channel, in the water between me, and yeah, put up a really good battle. And when I did finally get in the net, I thought, oh no, it's the same common that I caught with that other small common, but it's not. It was this one. Really cool one, 21 pound, real sort of bull nose fish, little withered fins, funny little dorsal. Yeah, made my morning. I'm well happy with him. Really cool carp. I've made some changes as well. I've gone back to leg clips, lengthened the hook links just slightly, because although I've been landing them, my hook holds haven't been very consistent, and both of these fish have been absolutely nailed. And as I said, swapped over to a wafter rather than a pop-up. And yeah, I mean, I think in the next week or so I would probably change over to more of like a bottom bait or a snowman presentation, as I think the fluoros definitely start to wear thin. But what a cool carp. I'm really happy with him, and it's actually the earliest bite I've had so far. Most of the bites have come sort of evening into the night and sort of into the early hours, like sort of 3-4 in the morning. But yeah, this one was literally just coming into light. So yeah, really happy with him. I've only got a few more hours left, so the rods are ready against the brolly to go straight back out. So maybe there's a chance of one more, but if not, this one has made my trip. Wicked. It's not going to plan. It's Wednesday evening and my first trip back since I left Saturday morning, and obviously we've had this lovely spell of warm, hot weather, and I didn't know if the fish would have started spawning or not, so had a good walk round, no signs of spawning at all. And the area I've been fishing, there was definitely carp out there, so got the kit and I got the rods out. They went out really nice, and I basically had 3 bream within about 20 minutes on the left hand rod, and I wondered if I'd sort of blown it a bit, so I put a load of pellet out when I left Saturday. As I've been saying, I think the spots are quite sort of dirty out there. I'm getting good drops, but there's definitely a lot of sort of litter out there, more so on the right hand rod than the left. And so I decided to put these pellets out in the spoon, as I wanted to keep them tight on the spot. So I put 4 spoons out on the right hand rod and 2 out on the left. And as I say, as soon as I put a rod out, had a bream, rod back out again. 3 times this happened, so I wondered if I was going to get plagued with them. Put the rod back out and it felt like things had settled. I had a couple of bleeps and just sort of was getting settled, got the brolly up, and the left hand rod's absolutely buckled round, and this fish is sort of held out there. Definitely felt like a good fish from the off, and then it's kited hard left, like that's the area you don't want them to go, and I've really clamped down on it, and yeah, unfortunately it's come off. Just felt like a good fish, it had some power to it, and yeah, really wondering what one was it, kind of thing. So that horrible feeling of, oh, if I'd have just clamped down that little bit harder, or you know, those sort of thoughts that go through your head. So yeah, made a load of disturbance and yeah, got no prize from it. So rod's just gone back out there. Yeah, it's getting on a bit now. It's 8 o'clock. I haven't even made any dinner. But yeah, I'm just hoping I haven't blown it for tonight, but also yeah, just praying that it wasn't the one that I really want. So yeah, obviously this hot weather we've been having, fish have started spawning, and at the minute they're not showing any signs on here, so I'm hoping I get tonight. I've got Friday night and that could be it, but the weather is cooling by the weekend, so chances are that may put them off if they are thinking about it. So yeah, really disappointed. Yeah, painful loss to that one. So yeah, just hoping I get another chance, so we will see. Nothing more to report from this trip. Really quiet as I expected, a lot of disturbance, and yeah, just didn't really hear or see anything after that. Reeled the rods in this morning, brought in a branch on the right hand rod. As I said, I think that area is quite dirty over there, so with each trip it's getting cleaner and cleaner, and I've definitely, you know, started to get more bites off that right hand zone. So yeah, baited up. It's going to be a real hot day today. The sun's just coming up over the trees now. So yeah, fingers crossed they don't start spawning. I get tomorrow night and then we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, really disappointing trip. Yeah, can't help but just keep thinking what one was it, but I'll never know. So yeah, hopefully get back tomorrow and hopefully a change in fortune. We have got a bit of redemption. It's Friday night, got down to the lake after work and rods went out. Nice, but I had a bream straight away on the left hand rod, but got the rod back out there and it's ripped off pretty much the same time as the fish Wednesday night. But luckily we beat this one. Nice common. Get him out and show you. Well, we got a bit of redemption for the loss the other night. Not the one I'm after. A lovely common, just under 16 pound. Nice clean fish, nice plump belly. Gave me a real run around. Went all around the swim. Tried to go over the other line. But yeah, happy to get one. It's made a right disturbance. Fingers crossed there's a couple more bites on the cards. Pretty much the exact same time as that bite on Wednesday that I lost, so yeah, we'll see. There's not been loads of signs of fish down here, but definitely a few about, so we will see. Glad to get one though. Lovely clean carp. Well, that's a wrap on this little mini spring campaign. Just had a phone call. Fish have started spawning in the back bay down that end that I've showed you with the pads. So yeah, that's the only thing that's hard with this. Like, I'm so isolated down here, I can't tell what's going on elsewhere. And obviously because I'm fishing locked up, I can't be off my rod. So knew it was close. I mean, today's meant to be quite moody, but the sun's high and it's boiling. So I did actually have another bite, lost another fish, which is really frustrating after a really nice run to go on and lose two. Had a bit of a finicky bite, and just one of those, I never really felt like I was in direct contact with it. It was definitely a carp, and then it bumped off. So yeah, really frustrating, because yeah, it does make you wonder what if. The fish I caught yesterday evening actually is a fish one of my friends caught a couple of weeks ago as well. So it's a bit frustrating in the sense of the fish I've caught, there's been a couple of repeats or one that someone else has caught. So when you've lost a couple, it makes you wonder, you know, what ones they could have been. So moving on from this spell, I've got a little bit of bait with me, so I'm going to get some bait out there. The lakes will shut for a good couple of weeks now, and I'm a bit undecided what I want to do really, because the fish I'm after, sea scale, is a male. So the fact they've spawned doesn't really put me off going for that fish. It pretty much always gets caught in May. So I know if I don't come back, it probably will get caught in May, which is normally what happens on here. Is I do a little bit of fishing, it either gets caught just as I start, or I pull off and it gets caught, and you think, oh. Doing this little stint has made me think maybe it's just one of those fish, it's never going to happen. But I know they're not monsters, but I've absolutely loved this spring. After a long break from fishing and quite an intense, you know, few months in my sort of home life, I've seen, I think, 4 other anglers in the time that I fished this spring, which in this modern era of angling, you can't really find that on most places, and all the fish are really unique. It's exciting fishing, and I feel like I'm fishing for the fish. You know, I'm turning up, I'm fishing an area regularly, I'm getting bait going in, and I love that process. You know, anyone that's followed my sort of vlogs over time, I love that, you know, putting the stages together. That's the side of fishing I enjoy. I love the prepping at home, you know, getting everything ready and putting that plan together. I'm not a massive fan of, you know, fishing a different area every week and never really feeling like I'm getting into something. And then for me, that's when the buzz of it sort of fizzles. So one of my goals this year is I'd like to catch a good fish off the surface. I've never caught a real big one off the top, and I've definitely neglected it the last sort of few years as my fishing's become more serious. Used to do loads of surface fishing when I was younger, and it, to be honest, just a laziness thing of not organising the kit, already coming down with an idea of where I want to be, what I want to do, and, you know, not doing that. But I've got a couple of waters that are very good surface waters that have got very big fish in. I did have a dabble on one of them on the top a couple of years back and came close, so that's probably where I'll be heading. The other ticket I've got, which is probably where I was planning to go from here, that's actually closing for a couple of weeks. It's got an otter fence going up, so realistically that one's probably off the cards until June. I'm not sure when they spawn in there either, so I reckon the next couple of weeks it might just be a little bit of surface fishing if the weather improves, because it is meant to drop off, and then probably we'll end up back here, but we'll see. So I think coming back there could be an area change. There's definitely a little bit of work I want to do in this area out in the boat, and potentially bait, you know, 2 or 3 areas. There's actually a fish coming through on the surface here, so that's the only thing that's tricky with this lake. There are some younger fish and older fish, and not all of them will be spawning, so could be a bit of a stop-start period over the next month or so, but yeah, we'll see. So I hope you've enjoyed this sort of style of video that I've done. As I say, I know they're not monsters, and some people watching might think, oh, you know, what's he doing putting all this time in for mid doubles and low 20s essentially. But for me, it's all about the fishing. You know, the fish are what we go for, but it's not everything chasing big uns. And yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed it. So yeah, obviously this will be split into 2 parts, and hopefully this year I'll be able to put videos out more consistently. So yeah, next one will probably be a bit of surface fishing, and maybe a little bit over here and a little bit on the newer waters. So yeah, excited to actually start getting a bit of consistency back on the channel. So hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you next time. There's a few of them going at it there. If you can see them. Not monsters, the ones I can see. As I say, I think there'll be a few goes where there's fish of different ages in here. There's definitely quite a few down here, so I'd say the bulk have started. Shame it's gone a little bit hazy now, so it's tricky to spot them. I was hoping I'd get a view of sea scale, but I'll get up the tree and see what I can see.